the 100th. We got somewhere. We're still like 4 away from, you know, another milestone. But 100! We hit 3 digits without cheating.
Oh yeah.
We did it.
Congratulations. We got stuff going on today and like horses to critique. And then what I assume half the people in this chat are here. Oh, let's be honest. 3/4 of the people in this chat are here for. We're going to draw like OCs and stuff. And it's going to be a good time. It's going to...
All right. Any requests, really? We just know it's all going to be...
My OC is Luna, so ha 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 ha!
Wow, that plot twist.
So today, we have the lovely Aliclaw with us.
Hello, and welcome
Lion
to
Mum.
the stream.
we,
Right, eat your
there is
breakfast.
a cute pencil case.
Hi.
Yeah, there's the squeak.
Princess Fluffy's
Yay.
eye.
The fluff.
We got
Hello.
a strange dino. Sometime... Whoa! and me, living dead.
Rar.
Your zombie
Living
under
dead.
your bed.
You're almost a live host.
You protect, but you also attack. That's what
So
we did.
while we do this critique thing, we have what is called an Eggie on. Now, you might go, what's an Eggie? Good thing we're here to educate you. Stranger Source has just linked it for us. Eggie is basically like a group drawing platform. Everyone can hop on and draw on the Eggie. We would really love if you draw on the Eggie, because it's going to be really hard to hit 100 ponies if we don't get a little help here.
Oh yeah. Let's do
So
it.
please
Let's make our goal.
dig to the bottom of your pens and pencils and draw on there. They don't have to be great. They just have to be something.
No,
Yeah.
you can draw with your mouse. You can draw with whatever you can. It's not about being
with
good, it's
your
about
This
making
is sounding
your
like an
ponies.
infomercial to like
Well, not really.
get money to get Jimmy out of a well. Dig to the...
Whoa.
Oh
Wonder
no!
Jimmy hasn't been
Not Jimmy! Alright, so we're gonna start this critique thing off, and hopefully we'll get somewhere. Yeah. So,
Maybe, possibly.
first up, Sundaw's picture. This is going to be headed by Dino and myself. The following picture is Binky's, and it's down at the bottom. Yeah.
Down the bottom.
If you have pictures to submit, as you can read of the scrolling blue text across the top of the screen, submit. Tell us. Tell us you have art you would like critiqued, and we'll critique.
Throw it at our face. Dino and I are monitoring the chat, me being Aliclaw. So if you have any questions, be sure to ask us. We'll be doing our best to keep up with everything. And I'd like to do a PSA. For this segment, we are doing critiques. Now, we will accept anyone's art that they wish to be critiqued, but we ask that the art be 100% yours. Because it's not fair to critique someone else's work. So just keep that in mind if you want something critiqued. That's all we ask. And if there's any other questions, please feel free to ask. We'll be happy to answer in text or in chat. And if you just have questions about art, feel free to ask. You don't have to have a picture to ask a question about art. So there's my little PSA. Let's get critiquing.
Choo-choo. Wait, that's not how critique works. No.
No?
Oh.
So it's the critique train.
It's the hype train for critique.
It's
Everyone
both.
loves critique.
Everyone's both the critique and the hype station. It's both trains.
Alright, Sundaw, do you have any questions offhand on this picture here? Off hoof?
Or even
Off
off.
shoe. Need help on something still or not? Then I'll just listen. Hey, if you want to help critique, we can throw you in here. Gift. Alright,
Sure.
if someone can get to sending him the drop pile information. Oh, well that's...
I'm already there.
Woohoo! What
Then the third picture, if you could join Cute Pencil Case on picture number 3. Which one's...
Which is the top
Yeah, I think that's right.
corner.
Yeah, top right-hand corner.
I'm gonna go through and quick give these all numbers so we can.
Yeah, that would be very much more helpful. Thank you, Ellie.
Questions. How do I draw hair in motion? I can't seem to figure out where or how it should go. Number 2, broken leg. I had a reference, but just couldn't figure out how this leg should go.
References.
Yep.
We're already halfway there.
References are your champion. They...
Your knight in shining armor, not the pony. Although it could be the pony if that's what you're drawing.
So let's talk motion with hair. Generally, the motion follows the line of action going on here, because that's the most happy way to do this. So, line of motion, not a line of action. Anyway, your character sliding this way. Oh my gosh, where's my pen? There it is. Your character's sliding that way. That means everything is being pulled, or like all of her hair and stuff is being pushed the other way. That does not mean 90 degrees only to that line. No, that is not how this works. Not everything will be directly against that, because you also got to work like against gravity, and then there's like, you know, the roots of hair actually pulling and shape. What it means is it's pulled that direction. So you have a pretty good start here with your hair hanging down there, and especially up top. That's dang good. So for your bottom one, I would curve it more and make it sort of whip out. Ooh, not like that. How would I choose a different color here? There we go. You're gonna, if you make it break up a little bit while it's in action, it might help give it a little more flow to it, a little more chaos of that movement. And as KT said, definitely go check out those references. If we go find, we just go to Google. I wouldn't go look at running long hair horse. Why not horse? Oh, that's a cute horse. So adorable.
Horses are often cute.
All right, Shutterstock to the rescue. For everyone in the Picarto, you can see a wonderful Shutterstock image of a black horse running with the hair flowing behind. You can see how it hasn't been pushed directly on the angle that it's running. We can see waves through it. It's sort of flowing behind, not being just like pulled 90 degrees or 180 degrees to the movement. You got this beautiful flow coming down here as it forms a body, but then it's broken up towards the end. And it does the same thing throughout the entire body here. This is the type of references you go ahead and grab. You just grab them. There's lots of them. The internet's filled with references of horses running. Just horses running. And cats.
Yes, many of those.
I hear that humans actually dominate, but you know, I could be wrong.
No, it's clearly taken a shift in the direction of ponies.
All right, Stranger, do you have any comments about that broken leg and why it's so broken?
Well, it's a bit hard to tell, but I think, like, this part I'm circling here is like the bottom of the shoe. And in that case, it's very, very, very broken. Because it's like going like this here to the knee, then going here, and then it's just bam, going up here. There could also be the knee.
It doesn't look
But
like it's any
no, it
like
shouldn't be.
kneecap sliding brace. You know those knee braces? It doesn't look like that. It
Yeah,
does
yeah.
look like the bottom of the shoe.
Yeah, like she doesn't have anything like that on the other leg, so it's probably the bottom of the shoe.
Yeah, that's okay. So generally legs don't bend the opposite direction. That's the broken feeling. If we're to swing that 180 degrees, it'd be fine.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to recover from for
Yeah.
that sliding kick. But if you go look at pictures of like Pele sliding kicking a soccer ball, great references because very fit person sliding and kicking a soccer ball.
Yeah.
And you will find nearly unlimited pictures of that too. Yeah. Wow, they all do roll it behind them. That is crazy. Oh no, some are sticking both legs out straight. Well, today I learned how to play soccer. I must be an expert now.
Truly.
Yeah, for the most part, at least from the few pictures I've gone and stared at here, if we were to take this knee down here, and then just roll the leg behind, boot or shoe out behind here, just cover it up.
Yeah.
That'd be good enough.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
You got any further
Agreed.
questions? Your face is fine. Your mane is almost perfect. I love the flow in your clothes. It looks like it's actually being interacted with the environment. That's good.
Personally, I think the head's maybe a bit big, but
Oh, there
other than
is
that, it's pretty good.
slightly too thin of arm here. That's why I've increased its size with a bee sting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Holy cow, Ali. We hit a new record. 21 users.
What's that? What?
21.
We're old enough to 22. We're at that age where you
Rocketing
don't
up.
really know what you already turned 21, so it's just
Yay.
you're 22 now.
We're adults.
I can't quite run a car yet, but I can drink.
Could have served in the military for years.
You can do both if you're here.
All right, if there's no further questions, we'll move on to the next one, which is down at the bottom. Whoop. Whoops.
Started from the bottom, now we're here.
This is where we run into a problem, Dino. I can't help you on the next one because I have to stay focused on this one, or else it follows around it, right? So if someone else could join up Dino for number 4, that'd be awesome. All right.
You help in all of them, Zom.
And now-
you're a part of it all.
And now it's me and Ali's turn.
Oh yeah.
I'd love to do then it's pretty solid so far,
Yeah,
I'd say.
honestly.
A couple of things. First thing I did was the hoof. Where's my? Okay, I constantly lose my pen on this. So the hoof, I just sort of I wanted to reinforce the shape of it. So I sort of put a more jagged curve here where you can see, okay, the leg comes out and then it's got the actual hoof shape, because you had a very, very subtle bend there, so you were already sort of trying to do that. I just sort of, you don't have to go as harshly as I did, but I was just sort of trying to show, hey, here's the hoof, this is where it starts. And then from that I was able to work out, this is where like the under part comes from. I just do like a very basic shape. You can do whatever sort of hoof style you want. You can do it very basic, or you can try and do an actual freaking horseshoe. But it's that's all up to you. But yeah, just sort of it all starts, I think, with developing the general sort of area, the plane at the bottom of the hoof here, where that's going to be. I also made sure to leave a little gap, because then it's like that's where the actual hoof is going, if that makes sense. It's all sort of understanding the 3D space there.
Mm-hmm. Totally agree. And if I could add one other thing to that is definitely love the shape of the hoof that Fluffy Zai gave in their correction, but also you have to be careful of the size, because right now this bottom hoof, it's flat surface, the one that
Very
connects to
small.
the ground. The bottom one is bigger, and the one you're holding up is much smaller. I know it's really easy to shrink limbs when you have them doing different things, but proportions are something, as an artist, you always have to keep in mind. sure, style, whatever. You can break
At
things.
least
Rules are meant
someone,
to be broken,
I'm not sure
but
if it was them or a different person, but I remember someone in the chat had already mentioned that, but it might have been someone else. But yes, just sort of look at the proportions. It's an easy mistake to make, but Ali is very right. Just sort of look at how that is, and if we were to actually, okay, there we go. If we were to actually do it the right sort of size, this sleeve here would be like this, and if at least if we were sort of mimicking the other hoof, anyway. It'd be let's see. I'm just sort of guessing here. Something
yeah,
like this.
definitely
I think.
much bigger. I
Yeah,
know it's
but
really easy
I
to
think
lose
I think
track.
I think these are too big personally. But
Yeah,
that's just me.
it's very
Maybe
pony
put them
MLP.
between. Put them
Yeah,
in between. So it's like make this one a little bit bigger, and then we'll make these ones a little bit smaller. You got the shape very nice. It got this sort of curve on the front and back and how that works.
absolutely.
But you look at how I mean, the thick legs is sort of the first thing I noticed. I think you can still have the sleeves very baggy, but just sort of look at how the actual legs form and like where the body is going underneath all this wonderful outfit.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a fallout across your thing? I'm not quite sure what this pony's from.
I sadly would not know. But
Yeah.
while we're on the topic of the outfit, I'll just quick jump off that. Um, this could be picky, but really, if you think about clothes, there's no real reason for a flowy jacket to get that shape of the back of the leg there. It's not going to grip or get caught. It's going to flow. It's a jacket, and from what it looks like, a more military jacket, so maybe a heavier jacket. So something more, straight line that definitely drops is what you're going to want to aim for instead of something that grips to the leg and conforms to every bit of its, design and all that fun stuff. Words and fancy things. So like something that just
Hmm.
I know, I'm so technical right now. It's like you want it to just I'm more of a feeling person when it comes to this
You're the one without all the fancy jargon. You're the relatable.
relatable. Um you just kind of want it to drop,
So
Yeah,
they
it's a
say
trench
it was a
coat.
trench coat, yeah. And
So
it's
it's
someone's
definitely much
OCD.
heavier. So you just kind of want it to drop. You don't need it to conform to the outline of the leg. It just feels silly. It's like, oh, it's a spandex trench coat suddenly at the back. You kind of get that like
Mm.
silly. And same here with the trench coat at its belly. You kind of have this overlap here, which I'm not quite sure what that would mean for the fabric. Usually, like think about it just as like a piece of fabric sitting on the back of the pony. It's just gonna go down, boom, 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 all the way down, just flow. Nice flows. Fabric, at least MLP fabric, you're not gonna have a lot of complex wrinkles and shapes and falling folds in the
Mm.
fabric. It's very simple. It's the pony
Yeah.
style. It's
Because it kind of
block
like
shape. It's
yeah,
meant to be
and it's going to kind
animated.
of like hang over the body and hang over the legs. So it's really not as much as on with humans in terms of like creasing and bends and things, but
Hmm.
it's always fun to sort of look at anyway. But yeah, it also depends on the style you're going for, like Ali said.
Yeah. Otherwise, the outfit's great. I love how you
Mm.
have the rolled up sleeves. That's a really nice touch, and the collar is nice. And yeah, even the difficulty with that, like you have such a side view going on, so you only get the little peek up front there for the buttons. I think that's really nice. So yeah.
Yeah,
Otherwise, the outfit's great.
and it depends on how side view you're going. But I sort of I wanted to add more overlap to the tail, which is what I'd sketched there. It was very messy. So I'd work it out. I would sort of play with it yourself rather than copying what I've drawn. But I'd say that for anything I critique here. But the tail is very much like a single shape in the original picture, so it kind of looks like it's a flat like felt tail rather than like an actual shape of hair. Like the actual mane of the pony is great. That looks wonderful, but like the tail, I
Hmm.
think it's just a little bit too flat. So just adding those little bits of overlap, like you got to sort of think about, okay, the tail's coming out of the body here and it's going this way, and then it's going to hang down. So if we sort of were to block it out, so okay, so here's where the tail goes. You sort of got to think again in 3D perspectives and everything. So bits are going to come out of other bits, and just with the spikes, I just made each one overlap the other, just because that sort of looks a lot more consistent and flowy.
All right then. Looks like we're done there. just like to remind everyone, the Eggy is still going on. I like how many ponies we're up to already.
Eggy, eggy.
1, 2, 3,
How many
4,
ponies,
5,
man?
6, 7,
Oh
8,
my
9,
gosh,
10,
look at you
11,
guys.
12, 13, 14, 15. Maybe there's more. Maybe there's hidden some. Who knows?
Oh, damn. That's a lot of ponies.
I'm proud of you guys. I'm so proud of you. And like small ponies, get them in. You guys are going great. We're gonna reach 100. I feel it.
I'm gonna draw loads of little chibis soon.
So adorable.
Soon, TM.
Tio. So, if you have any more questions, Binky,
Zoom out.
I think we're
And
done.
next up, we have the one powered by Cute Pencil Case and Gift. That is the one up here. Ellie, Dino, and Fluffy. Can you move on to number 4?
Sure thing. The human.
Oh, wait, the human? Oh, yeah, the human. Yes, that's the one you're moving to. All right, this one is by Mr. Halo755 and was submitted on our subreddit. The post is, worked on this for a bit, and I'd like to know how I did on the pose and the eyes. Any other criticism is welcome. All right, you two, you want to explain your lovely little marks here?
Most of them are from CPC, so
Sorry about that.
Falling and the leg, the front leg. It seemed like it was missing a leg in the back. The front leg. It seemed like it was bending the wrong way. So I just put an extra. I did this instead of going straight down like this.
All right. So to reiterate, in case anyone missed that, because you were coming in just a touch quiet, the back leg, the one with the blue line going, oh, lost leg, that one, it appears to be missing. The front leg just needs to work on its angle just a touch, just to make sure it's doing this instead of this. And it looks like you did some modification of the face there.
Oh yes. The nose was a side view, but the toning is on 3/4. So I just made it a little bit more. Just turned it to fit with the pose. And I added the cheek.
They are very
Some
adorable,
cheeks,
especially when they're little poofy things.
I
That cheek squish. It does balance out the face when you do.
All right, then. Let's move on to the next one. Do. I know, we're just hopping in there quickly. All right, team who just finished, you want to move on to number 5?
So, for this lovely. Oh, okay.
I personally don't think we have very much to say about it in general.
Yeah, the only big thing, I'm super happy with everything below the waist. That is really nice. It feels good.
Oh yeah.
All the fabrics and the pants, that feels great. But everything here from under the head, this whole area, it feels very long, like very, very long. If you, the biggest thing, like the thing is with something like this where it's good, it's well done, you can tell there's skill involved. There's just some anatomy issues that feel off. Sure, we can always play that card, oh, it's a style, but we don't like to do that here because while style is always a valid thing, we're here to help improve.
You don't want to use it as an excuse when it could be limiting you. That's the issue.
Exactly. So my biggest thing here is, I think, get yourself a lot more references, definitely female anatomy references, and kind of get that idea of what the chest area looks like, because right now this is very long, very, very long for, I'd say, the average female. So, and also the neck, it was brought up. The neck is, I would also say, a bit long. A lot of this stuff really, if you just observe, maybe do some sketches of the anatomy itself, really get to understand the proportions, measure and compare. You see that silly picture where an artist holds up a pencil and like closes one eye and holds it and looks at the thing they're trying to draw. They're measuring with their eye, which is a completely valid thing to do. You don't need to get out a ruler, but something to compare, measure and compare with when you're drawing it yourself. And that's, references are just, they're brilliant for that. And you can have tens and thousands of references. Don't just get one reference and
Yeah,
call it a day.
I'm constantly like looking between multiple references while drawing. So it's very helpful to sort of broaden your. Trying to think of the right phrase. That you're not putting all your eggs in one basket. You're not being sort of diluted by one particular reference then and one particular style and anatomy. You're looking between them and using little bits of all of them.
So I should
It's
have
always
started
more
off with this. This was submitted by The Art of Doing Science. And the post title was "Finally got this series finished off with Aria. Posting all 3 together soon."
nice. The only I had a couple of small things. I think it's. I'm not sure who wrote at the side. I'm not sure if that's Cute Pence case or not.
I believe it was Cupid's case.
Yeah, but I agree that the neck is too long, just a little bit. So I was sort of working to try and shorten that a little bit. But it's just sort of maybe raising the shoulders a bit to compensate, and just sort of reducing how far down the neck goes, adding a bit more of the sort of chest muscle and everything if you want to do that. Again, anatomy references will help a lot. The chest is like very flat, and not just like just flat chested. I mean, like even for a male, it feels like there should be more shape. Uh, it I'm not sure how much of it, but I feel like some of it is caused by the clothes and the amulet, which look like they've fallen very flat on it. I mean, the strap here probably is quite flat, but the amulet itself looks like it could be just boosted up a little bit more to have more 3D shape. And the clothes maybe sort of just to sort of show the real bend in the torso, because she's arcing her back, her body's going like this. You got to follow the action line, and I feel like you could push that a little bit more on the front side as well. Just to show the sort of thickness of the rib cage torso there.
And like I said before, making it not so long, I think, will help
Yes.
with it feel more
Yeah.
3D.
Otherwise, I think it's fantastic. Like the head shape, everything, like the face and head and everything is beautiful. And like Ali said, everything below the waist is beautiful as well.
And the
That
hair is
shading
lovely too.
works so well.
Oh yes, it's very good.
And I think,
Yeah, the highlights and shading are fantastic. I mean, it's actually
yeah.
pretty similar to how I do it, just done better.
like I said, there's a lot of skill in this drawing, and it's hard to critique something like this. A lot of the stuff
Yeah.
we're being picky about, and it's usually very basic stuff. It's funny, you see people with a lot of skill, but then most error that any artist makes tends to fall back to the basics.
Yeah.
It's always so funny.
Like it's all like you said, there's like a lot of skill here. Like all the nitpicks we are giving are just to sort of push that little bit, just to make you as good as you can be. Because there's always going to be little bits that can be changed or improved with the drawing. You're never going to make absolutely perfect stuff, but like it's always about looking at the little things that you could be doing better and fixing.
And you know what they always say about critique? You can always listen to the critique, try out the suggestions that people give, and if you don't like it, that's okay. You don't have to do it.
Yeah.
But always give the suggestions people give a chance.
So
it never hurts.
You might find something, even if it's not the exact word for word what we say, but you might be thinking about it and looking at it and then figure out something else sort of similar that you hadn't even noticed and find a way to improve. So it's always worth doing. I mean, we can look at things with critique, but looking critically at your own work as well, using what we've given as a guideline is
I would just like to make one more comment. I laid down 2 blue lines here, right on the forearm here, just because you have this black band and the arm met with it, and then promptly dropped off behind it and followed the rest of the arm. It's a little awkward. It's just an odd tangent line that formed. Because she doesn't appear to be muscular up top, the likelihood it says she's not going to be muscular down on her forearm either. So I've just reduced that width of that arm, or that forearm a bit.
And be careful of overlaps. This one you have here is actually the wrong overlap. It's kind of the front arm here overlapping this part of the arm. So be careful that in fact this arm here is obviously in front of that arm because
Yeah.
All right,
you know,
on to the
3D
next one
space.
then.
Yeah, yeah.
3D space.
Do-do-do-do-do. You know the normal dance? You're
Next
yeah,
one.
number 6.
And so are we doing 6?
Can
Number 6. Another human ish.
can Dino or Aliclaw, can you join the gift CPC group? Okay.
I'll go.
Just want to shuffle up the voices a bit. All right, so this picture is submitted
Sure
to us
thing.
by... I'll find it. There it is. It is submitted by Fruities. Fruities? The Mooses? Moosins? The Moosins are the Geesons? No. It is... I entered this weekly challenge thingy, and I did a decent... And I think I did decent on this one. I hope. I forgot to take a picture of the sketch, so I hope that's no big problem. I also didn't color it because I didn't want to feel stressed in case I forgot it or I forgot to post it. Because I have an important thing today. But I'll color it in my spare time if I want. Well, that's the right answer. You only do it because you want to do it. Unless, you know, someone's got like a gun to your head, then you should probably draw. I mean, just saying. So don't feel stressed to
Totally not what
post
we do here
the
at all.
sketch. We like to see the sketch beforehand because it helps us know how you've built up. But if you forget it, don't go, oh no, now I can't post the picture. You can still post the picture. Don't worry about that. And we don't expect full colored pictures posted because, you know what? At the point of full coloring and heck even full inking, generally you aren't going to change anything on that picture anyway. So we're only just going to give you suggestions for the next one. So, you wonderful people who started laying down some colorful ink here. You want to tell us what you did? You hate this pose.
I hate this pose. Very difficult.
It's a difficult pose.
It's a very difficult pose for a pony.
I just
Yeah.
my
The whole
best
like
effort
leg crossed over
here.
thing. Yeah.
I feel like this is one of those poses where you're gonna break anatomy. Horses don't do this. They're cartoon horses. It's gonna be one of those situations where it's not gonna be 100%, you know, anatomy perfect. Like the doodle you have up here, CPC. That is a really nice interpretation of that pose. I think it flows smoothly and gives the idea of the cross-leggedness. So I think that's something to look out for. Where
This
in
drawing
the
is by
drawing we have
Fruities.
submitted, who's this drawing by again? Fruities. Something that is missing from yours in particular. You don't have the thigh on this bottom hoof at all. It's just kind of like this hoof that comes out right from the hip. So it's something like you need to think about as a human when you cross your legs. Don't your thighs overlap? You know, don't your knees, you know, go over each other. So it's that interaction, those key parts that you have to look to have interacting. You know, playing around with it, definitely looking up references. You can look up cartoon references because I can guarantee you if you can't find a pony reference, I'm sure somewhere else there is like a dog doing it in a cartoon, or you know, a cat or a lion or a, I don't know, a kangaroo. There are so many references out there, and no one should ever limit themselves to just looking at pony references. You can look at human references too. It might not 100% give you what you need, but it's a start. It's that flow, and it's that idea of like, oh, what body parts are connecting to each other, and how can I relate
shouldn't
that
only
back
look
to a
at
horse
small
or a
horses?
cartoon horse?
Okay.
Only
Dodge the
small
bullet
horses
there.
For you. Everyone else should branch out every once in a while.
How long is the list for critique? The list for critique is 2 more pictures, actually, I think.
But yeah, I think that's my biggest critique on it. I don't know, gift CPC, is there anything you guys want to talk about? I see you did a lot of drawing here, so I want you guys to have a chance to speak.
So I also added an X in the hoof in here instead of going straight up, coming because there's a joint in here that will hold inside instead of up. And the body, it kind of looks like a snake right now. The neck goes straight into the body, so I just made it more curved so that there's more of a separation.
Can I ask a question about your hoof choice of turning it downwards? I understand that you said the joints there, but if you take, like, our wrists have quite a lot of rotation, so it's probably not a fair thing to base our wrists off of it. But if you're to rotate them on only one axis, right? Just say forward and backwards, and then turn your arm, your forearms, can't you still make them turn inwards too? So wouldn't it make more sense if you're trying to hold something flat like a book, wouldn't it make more sense to have the hoof sort of holding the book as opposed to just the side of it?
Maybe. I was thinking about it more like human arm because of the type of pose it is. We normally put our hands like sideways, or maybe that's what I do.
Just a comment. This leads us to a point we talked about last week. There's 1,000 different ways of doing this. Do not take us as the de facto set in stone method of doing this.
Oh yeah, that is 100,000 true.
That if you're placing it directly slide down, I don't know.
There's a billion ways to do things in art, and you know what? Yeah, this is your interpretation of it, and I honestly think it's definitely a good option, a good fix for what we have going on right now with the arm, because definitely, like you've drawn, the arm is much too low on the body, giving the pony a very big neck, and also the parts of the arm, there's no, it feels like the proportions of the joints definitely feel better on yours, because it almost is like the original drawing has like the two joint structure, but yours has the nice flow of the arms and separation of the hoof.
All right. Is that it? Is that the critique you guys have?
I think for now, yeah. I think the hair, I would think about playing with hair a bit. Definitely get those volumes in. Right now it feels very flat, like it's just sitting on the head, instead of coming out of the head. So that's something to be careful about, like, really get that hair flowing out and not just like, even in the back here, it's gonna come out, not just sit on top. So you'd be surprised where the hair actually comes out when you're looking at like a horse's mane or MLP. MLP sometimes has helmet head issues, but it's definitely, something to play around with. It's not quite like, I know a lot of people like here, it kind of feels like, oh, this line connects the hair. That's not usually how it goes. There's usually a spot in the head where the hair kind of comes out and then splits directions of going to the down mane and the top of the head, the mane.
Alrighty
Otherwise,
then.
yeah,
I would just like to remind everyone,
on.
especially the newcomers, we have an Eggy going on. What is an Eggy? An Eggy is a group drawing group drawing platform. Yes, you all sort of hop in and do your best at drawing. Don't expect this tool to play nicely with you. It doesn't play nicely with most people. Don't expect very much line control. If you manage to get line weights, well done. Clap a little happy dance. Do what you need. Just use it like a blunt force object it is. Just draw happy little horses everywhere. We're trying to draw 100 happy little horses on this canvas.
And I found a secret hidden pony, but I can't.
You're just gonna have to draw a lot of really small ponies there, so it looks as though it's filled in, but it's actually just small ponies. Yep. This is the reality you will have to live
white
with.
Lines on top of my pony.
All right. So on to the next picture. Where are we? You know the shuffle. You folks off to number 7. All
On to
right.
7. Two pencil
This
case,
should
gift, and I.
This style should be no surprise to people who have been on the stream before. This is by Corin CZ11, and it is the chariot on the stairs? Stairs? Yes, the chariot on the stairs. Huh. I read stars to start. River Vixen, trust me, you won't be embarrassing yourself. We have done weird challenges with that platform. There was one where we could only use feet to draw. Trust us, it will not be the worst start thrown on there, no matter how bad it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
We've had someone draw with a trackpad before, I believe. So anything
I've
is
drawn
possible.
with my mouth.
See? Anything is possible. It's just to have fun. It's not about who can make the biggest masterpiece. Art is about having fun, and that's what Aggie's there to remind us about.
And with Aggie, it's like you're not going to be able to draw in your usual way, so like you just sort of do what you can anyway.
Yeah. So this is Corin's, as I said. They don't have any questions on it. Sad face. We like questions. Do the streams usually happen at a reasonable time in the EU? It's 1:15 midnight here. We start 45 minutes before this. Unfortunately, me in particular, I work. And so I run home after work, hop into here, still chewing on whatever food I am. And we're like, oh my gosh. But
we always had the idea for a more European-friendly stream, but I don't know.
it is
We just
it is
didn't
very
have
hard to
got
get
managed
people to do
get
this
something
week
up
on and week off
yet.
to do that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we haven't got enough people to agree to take it over. So at this point, it's remaining at the 5:30 EST time.
We'd love to compensate for everybody in the world, but we are only so many people.
At least it's only 10:30 US UTC, because that's it could be much later. Like my radio
But I do
show,
have good
which is-
news. Every
which is at,
European
like,
I ever
3 in the
talk
morning.
to always stays up way past midnight. They all don't believe in sleep.
Yeah, I'm not an exception to that.
See, look,
I'm
every
I'm
European I
also
talk to.
pretty much an exception to that, I think.
Oh, BFC, just rub my ego here. Because the most dependable and funny of us live in Canada.
What do you say?
All right, so
Careful, he'll get the
let's
line.
talk of this one. Did you know night makes up half the time? Yes. Yeah.
Is this-
How'd you?
This the
Were you just reading it, or
Tian
do you
Ho
know who the
Rainbow
characters
Dash one?
are?
Yeah, cool.
Well, look at you!
I recognize the character. She's from Len's Fighting Herds. She's the dragon horse.
I think they're fighting.
So I approve of the shipping. But yeah, I was like, I'm trying to figure out what's going on here because it looks fighty, but it also kind of looks dancey. Like the pose is a little bit confusing. So if you had something specific in mind, like they might have been going off a reference. I would guess that they were, but it's like I'm trying to figure out what exactly is going on. It doesn't look like there's enough like motion or action for it to be fighting. Really, it looks like very posed. And that's because the I mean you got like the action lines in the body, or at least in Tianho anyway. But it's like everything feels very relaxed. They've both got both legs on the ground. They're not. There's no sort of clear signs of like the gravity swinging or anything like that. So it kind of feels like they're sort of standing. If they are meant to sort of be batting fists and blocking and parrying and fighting or whatever, then like I don't know. It's a very tricky thing to do. But looking up animation and like looking up references of things in motion, if you can find anything, works really well. You just gotta really study and just try and focus on how to get sort of that motion in. Like if I was going to draw a character kicking another character, for example, doing like a spinning kick, and I would sort of want to do it's like the body there, and and you're gonna have one leg like swooshing right out, and then the other leg kind of like this, because you really want to sort of emphasize, hey, his characters are moving. Yeah, I don't know which direction your arms are supposed to go in because I haven't looked at reference first before. But yeah, you probably will if you do manage to look up stuff. But I don't know, they might actually just be doing something completely different. I'm not sure. But it's if just sort of trying to do things that make the pose look more understandable for someone looking at the picture who doesn't like have a direct, oh, I can see what they're doing. Like if it was like based off a movie or like an animation or something and you took an exact pose, that's okay. But sometimes things can end up being a little bit obscure, and like basically what you're trying to do is tell a story with one picture. So you got to kind of make sure that what you're actually doing is telling that story, if that makes any sense. On a little bit more concrete levels, I did sort of think that the arm here is a little bit too parallel to itself. It doesn't look quite right, just doubling back on itself like this, and it looks like you can do that position with your arm, but it's not uncomfortable. But something about it being in this picture this way just feels a bit wrong. Like it's a bit too much of a tangent, which is why I would suggest sort of moving the bottom of the arm down a bit, then moving the top up as if it's like bending. Lower the elbow, raise the hand, if that makes any sense. That's up to you. Again, you don't have to take that advice, but just I would just play with it to make it so the arm isn't directly parallel like that. Then that immediately adds more motion to the picture. You can see sort of more movement and things happening. The only other thing I sort of messed with, actually there was two. The one thing was that I felt like Rainbow Dash's wing could be moved over. It looks like it's sort of pointing backwards. It might be, but I felt like it would probably be more sensible to have it facing more to the right, like it was brought forward a little bit. Or you can draw it tucked in completely, as my fellow has drawn right behind. So
I
you
would go
sort of have the wing
tucked in,
tucked in
totally.
as if she's not extending it. But any other thing? Yeah, I would as well. It feels like it'd be a lot. You got to have your gravity pushed into the center. Then, if you're going to be dancing or fighting or whatever you're doing in this scene, if she's got her wings tucked in, she's going to have her gravity centralized. She's not going to have the wings dragging on the air or getting in the way. They're going to be sort of compact, and she's going to be able to move much more freely. But the other thing I changed was the torso here. I sort of did some under sketching. Just sort of felt like things could be positioned a bit differently. Again, you don't have to. You can change it how you want. But this is my attempt to sort of getting it to be a bit more sort of in natural anatomy, shape, and position. And that's about. Oh yeah, no, so I was looking at sort of the centers of gravity because they look a little bit like they're off. If you want my suggestion, if they are supposed to be standing, then I would move this leg just so that there's like more of a centralized position, because you've got to think about where the weight is going. Right now it looks kind of like the weight is forward and to the left of the character, and she looks unbalanced. She's not holding onto the banister as far as I can tell. So just I would move the leg there just to sort of counterbalance the weight a little bit more, but that's up to you to sort of play around with again.
So some quick notes about
but
the
that's about all I
shading
have.
on it, and we brought this up before, and I'd just like to reiterate from last time. Watch your shading, because right now your values aren't matching each other. What I mean by that is your shading over on the side here, for instance, right up around here, this stuff here, that value is not matching what's over on the carpet on this area. And then that's not matching the values of the darks over on the side of Rainbow Dash or the side of, I forget her name, Tianho. Yeah.
Tianho.
Dark is dark. No
It's
matter
like Chinese,
what's going on there,
something
if
like
that's
that.
the darkest spot, they're going to be the same level of dark because there's no additional light source on them. Yep, and I'd just like to reiterate that you just got to make sure the easiest way I can say, throw it onto grayscale, and you're going to go and look at what the values is on the grayscale, and then you can actually take it into grayscale and adjust the values.
Yes,
and bring it back, use the overlay function, slam them together. Sometimes that works.
I have done this. It's very helpful to get that perspective. You can just immediately see, okay, this is way standing. Like, so you can then just look at it and immediately decide, okay, what do I want to stand out? Because you can just see exactly what is standing out more than what isn't, and then you know exactly what to change. So if you wanted the characters to be the focus, then you can mess with it until they do look right, and then just bring it back and adjust as needed. There's been much more sketching done on this by whoever else was critiquing with me.
I think that was just reiterating what you
They
had.
wanna. I don't know who was drawing along with me. I don't know. I don't know. There's all the arms from Rainbow Dash and the wings and the feet. I don't know. Looks like there was more to
All
say,
right,
but
on to the next one. We just got to move past this fluffy army going on right here. I'm just going to quickly paste on another submission we have. And if group number 7 wants to get ready for theirs, that would be great.
Okie pokey. So we got this adorable little blushing changeling. Super adorable. There's not much to say. It's good. It's got anatomy. It's very show style. But there's some things we can do to make it better. Art can always be made better. At least that's what I like to think. So some things we did were we played with the muzzle a bit. Had it more leaning down, having that nice little slope instead of just being that overlap. Usually that gives it a better 3D space. You really get that feeling for that muzzle, its depth, and it's not just sort of like smooshed on. It gives it a little more definition, I'll say, to the face. That's a good word.
yes.
And something we also applied to it was the box muzzle, which is something we like to do here to help people understand how to put muzzles on a face. It's as simple as, you got your circle going, your nice little pony head or whatever creature. This can work for any creature with a muzzle. And you divide your head, let's say boop and boop. Nice little cross to kind of get the idea of where to place stuff. Maybe got some eyes, little eyes just slapped on there. And now for the box muzzle. Super simple. So let me get a different color so you guys can see. Little red dot maybe there, red dot maybe there, and we draw. Not a box. Well, I guess a box is a cube. Boom. You just in the box. Just draw that box. Have it connect back onto the face. See, it's already looking like a muzzle already, but obviously they're not boxes. They're not hard edges. So what we do is we go back in and we soften that, but give the nose a curve and then curve it in for the smile, and you can then get rid of all these construction lines you have and you round yourself out, and well, that's a boopable snoot if I've ever seen one. Not to boop my own snoot right here, but so, and simple things like that can really help give you form to, a pony's face. Like, something we did here was, instead of just having the muzzle curve like it did and then come right into the smile, we really draw that line over. Like, I'm still in a different color. So something that defines it is like these lines are all parallel to each other. The chin, the opening of the mouth, and the bridge of the nose, they're all parallel. So you get that same 3D feeling all the way through. Because sometimes with the mouths, especially drawing smiles and such, you can easily turn that into side mouth or just a flat mouth, and you lose all depth in the muzzle, which is sad because depth in muzzle is awesome. So yeah, try practicing your box muzzle today. Other than that, I'd say we could push the expression a bit on this guy. Maybe have the cheek push up because he's got that little smile, and I think that'll help the blush read a bit better. It's hard. Green is not a blush-friendly color. It's the color of queasiness.
It's not a creative color.
So, but I understand it's a changeling and aliens do crazy things. But
yeah, I would like.
In general, like, aliens can bleed, blue blood, where we're used to seeing humans bleed red blood, etc., etc. It's like all based off of that what predisposition you have in your head of something.
Yeah, I would like to say on the whole thing of the box muzzle, like, because I'm not a fan of square-looking muzzles. I like round ones, but even the round ones are gonna still, once you sort of go into a bit more of a detailed style, you can see it much easier. But even the round ones still have a 3D perspective shape to them, and so even if you start with the box muzzle thing and you practice from it, and then after a while you decide to move on and you try a different, you want to sort of try out different shapes or styles. At least that way you've got this initial, like, you got the basics, the fundamentals, so you can build off of that, and then your muzzles will always have a nice shape, because they always are going to have that 3D shape underneath, no matter how you twist and change it.
And the thing is, the box muzzle doesn't have to be a trap. Just because you draw a box doesn't mean
Exactly.
your muzzle has to be a box.
So
You can, like I said, round things out, find
Yeah.
those, edges that you want to
it
curve.
doesn't mean that it's what you have to stick to or that it's law. It's just like a good foundation to get you sort of understanding it.
It's a guideline. Like, we may use a sphere, but that doesn't mean the head is actually a sphere.
Yeah.
Or for the body, there's so many shapes we use that are simple. It's all about finding the simple shapes in creatures. If we go around drawing, I don't know what a 3D hexagon would look like, but yeah, that sounds like a fun shape. But no, we go nice and simple. Otherwise, like I said, there really wasn't. It's very nice. I'd say a challenge for you to work on: line weight. All these same thick lines, they're great, but line weight can add so much to a drawing. It can really bring those features out and make them pop where things connect. It doesn't just feel like a sticker on. It'll feel like it's actually connecting. Otherwise, I have nothing else to say. GIF CPC, do you guys have anything? No? Good? Fluff? The other thing is fluff. You must fluff your changing. No, we fluff here if it isn't obvious.
What is a shape-shifting power if not used to become something fluffy?
Oh, and one last thing. For the green, you can still do the green blush, but it's barely noticeable. So if you're gonna do something, try to push it a little bit. You can always go too far and dial it back. That's what I always like to say.
Can I get a group
Yeah,
to
good
go
point.
onto that
Otherwise, I'm dead.
latest posted one in the top right-hand corner? It is posted by TL Dixie, I believe. And then John Milky Watcher. Oh, good, you're with us. All right. So it's our understanding that you used a base here, and you're just asking about your coloring in here. First thing is first. That background is very, very busy. Tone that background down. That is like something I would get on my walls of my washroom if I was 80 years old. That is not a good background choice. Why? Because I said it to start. It's busy. It's way too busy. Your picture is the point of interest here. You don't want the background to distract from your picture.
Yeah, no. Not only do the colors match exactly, but they're stealing the attention. But the background has much more detail than the actual character
Now,
does. So in
the
both
blue on blue
tenses,
is fine.
You're stealing attention away from the
Personally,
character.
I would go with the contrasting color. What is a contrasting color? Go look at your color wheel. What's the opposite of that blue on your color wheel? That is your contrasting color. It's that easy. The reason I go with contrasting color is because it will make your subject pop a lot more, especially if it's a contrasting color that's like a solid or like a nice wash, like low impact wash. What does a wash look like? It's mostly transparent. It's not very bright. It's like a pastel. Usually a term for watercolors. It's easy. Now the fill blue, whatever that's fill tool, your fill tool doesn't look like it clipped too many edges, so that's fine. There is some evidence of it going a little strong on how it meets the edges. I would suggest backing off on it, making sure this layer is above your ink, like the ink layer or the line art layer is above your coloring layer, and then go in with a brush and meet the edges again. The reason you do that is so you don't try and rely too heavily on that bucket tool to grab every little pixel on the edge, because if you do, it will often eat some of your lines. Now these blue or these white sort of streaks you've left, as a texture in the hair. Well, it would work if you're trying to use that as a as a shading and highlighting method. What's been left here doesn't make sense for how it is. What CPC was laying on there makes a lot more sense because it's lines following the hair. What you have is going counter to the hair, sort of like a weird reverse skunk, or just a trash panda. Yeah, this is currently trash panda hair.
Like me.
Does that make sense? So,
And if you wanna if you wanna be a colorist, I'd say right now your best thing will be color
textures.
palettes. You're gonna want to do all the research on color palettes and understanding color
What?
theory and textures.
oh, I'm gonna
especially
facepalm hard.
oh
Unmute us.
I can't hear.
What?
Womp womp. Well, the YouTube video will go up and they can find it on our subreddit.
Yes.
Yeah.
So to finish off, yeah, color palettes, color theory, and definitely if you're adding color to the hair, I would also not make it so see-through. I would make it a solid color, especially if you're flat coloring things. The only time I usually see things that are flat color that have such a transparency to it is when you have a color gradient. And you can do color gradients on flat color, but doing these like really transparent lines, it's kind of confusing on a flat color piece. Because usually flat color is flat color, you know?
Right. Let me get them the channel. We have a
It's
channel
insane.
full of stuff. It's got almost 100 videos. No, it's not even there. What is it at? I don't know. Doesn't matter. It'll be there shortly. And by shortly, I mean when we're done our stream in like 3 hours after that, because processing time. All right, on to the next one. Hey guys, we're at 25 users still. What's going on here? Do we want to remind everyone what's going on?
Hey.
Just give them a
Hi,
quick
people.
spiel.
How you doing?
Allie McSpiel?
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
Okay.
Lay it on them.
Yeah, this is our 100th stream.
Just lay it on them. I'm
Congratulations,
not
we
gonna
did
let you-
100
This is the
episodes.
MLP
Can we believe it?
critique.
No. Should we have ever done it? Last Tuesday, maybe?
Us.
Well,
When do we get paid?
Yeah, about that.
Oh, I didn't get my
It
check.
must have gone to the wrong address. I know a lot of you have come for the free art, and the free art comes after we're done all of our critique, because this is the main focus of it. This is what our stream's all about. People submit art to us, and we critique your art, and we try and work to make everyone a
Where's
little bit
art?
better.
Artwork.
Should you be critiquing art? Yes. Critique art. You got hop on to critique places and be like, I'm not very good at this, but these are the little bits that I notice.
Yes.
And how do you get better? You keep doing this. You keep studying and focusing and doing more and using your knowledge and then expanding on that because you go, I see there's something wrong here, but I'm not sure why it's wrong. How do I improve it? And you just keep going. Just keep studying and doing more. And eventually we'll be all better.
Oh yeah. All better. Critique, anyone can do it. You advise, you can critique. You just gotta be respectful to the artist and use the best
Maze,
of your
we know.
knowledge to
And we
try.
love you. We love you, Maze. You're our hero. 13 weeks of you posting themes. Loving it.
Love.
The theme on our subreddit, there's a weekly
What's the
drawing
theme?
theme.
And that's
We used to do
subreddit
this a long time ago, and
weekly
then we
theme.
stopped
Yeah.
because reasons.
Ah,
And now it's back.
nice.
Currently, it is the 12 days of heartswarming. Heartswarming.
Yo.
We
Oh,
are
yes, I
40
saw that.
ponies on
That was-
Eggy.
that's
Hey,
cool.
what's Eggy, Allie?
Damn.
Aggie is this great little program we do almost every week. We try to do it every week. Basically, it is a program that lets us draw together. And you know what? What's the best thing about art is having fun and drawing together with people. And you really can't beat that. And this week we're gonna hit a goal of 100 ponies on this thing. And we need you. We need.
Well, we have this.
Where's like
we actually have this picture. It's on
We
our
want you to
subreddit.
draw the ponies.
Doesn't matter. We do. Thanks to KT.
Yeah, KT is pretty amazing.
And, you know, I don't want any excuses from anybody. You can use a mouse, you can use a trackpad, you can use your foot. We don't care. It's not about making the most beautiful thing in the world. It's about having fun with art, because everyone should have fun with art. It's not always about, you know, being the best of the best. It's sometimes just about having fun.
But
yeah. Ponies and art.
Hooray.
the little horses.
Please
in
join
the
our
middle
Aggie.
are
It's
freaking
been
adorable.
posted in the chat.
They're like,
feel free to click the link.
all I expect is to see little strings on them, and they're just little balloons. All right, I think we have one more picture to be critiqued. This one was submitted by TL Dixie. All right. You do you have any questions offhand, TL Dixie?
Ooh, it's very
Also,
lovely.
is this all like Copic? No, it's under this face around the words.
Definitely looks marker to me.
Like around there. I don't know. You have water up here, like the way it did that little break.
Or watercolor, either or.
Mixed media, maybe.
Maybe. We'll find out. Hopefully, maybe. I love me some mixed media. Anything that gets you to play with lots of stuff.
Yeah.
No! We got so far!
Lagged.
TL.
For 3 notes. Or 5 notes.
I heard the lag's pretty bad today, so it might be
The
a
Discord lag.
No.
That's the question.
the lag.
They're asking about that one. Yes.
his legs. I would agree. He is
Well
quite
done.
magical.
You do an
being,
incredible job.
and it's Copics and pens. It's very nice. Very nice.
Then you should do
It's
it more.
very, very cool. I have huge respect for like traditional art like
Fluffy
that
that.
since I've never been very good at it myself.
So,
But pens are really expensive.
I think my
Some
biggest
days you
question
just
is
gotta
why
show
is
off some
Discord
thigh.
holding his leg up that high to begin with?
You need a breather after that one?
Of course, okay.
I've got some weird images of Discord now in my head.
Wait. Yeah. I don't... Really, I have to admit they are very weird images.
It is such a dainty leg pose.
It really is. Like I'm expecting him to try to get a hitchhiker to like pick him up.
Hello, Mr.
I want to draw a fancy
President.
sock on there with frills.
But yeah, that's my big question, is that the pose. I'm not sure why it's posed like that. It definitely feels weird. I feel like this could all be solved, I think, with references of humans sitting in a chair looking fancy, and I think that would help with the leg by tenfold.
Oh yes.
Even if you were trying to get him to put his leg over the other side of the chair, I still think references would help this so much so.
I've tried to draw Discord before, and I feel their pain. He is very difficult. But I think trying to go for that sort of normal anatomy before making the excuse of, oh, it's Dustcord, he can like twist himself all sorts of ways. Like, use excuses after you've got the groundwork done, basically. Like, make it make sense normally first. If that makes any sense.
And really, I think it comes down to that. It's a very stylistic drawing, and I know we said we don't like to hide behind style, but there's some parts where it's just like normal anatomy won't tend to fix it, but I definitely think referencing poses will fix this, because having
Definitely
me
help
sit in the
anyway.
chair will help it much better. Like having almost
It's
like
that point of the
bottom
stream, guys.
going on. Yankee.
It's
When we get
the
tired enough.
texture they did with the scales are pretty good.
But I love
it
the
could use
details.
like
Those are
if
really
you notice
nice.
it sort of made it a little flat just based on how it curves,
Yes.
or the difference between the middle point here and how it is here. And the way you can give it a little more depth to it is by actually making the scales larger as it moves towards the middle, because they just a touch larger, because it gives us the active perspective to us. You can also throw a little more aggressive shading on there, because you've done some very impressive and aggressive shading around the ponies and Discord, but his tail is quite flat.
And for such a deep, rich red will usually interact with some nice deep shading. This is nice. I really enjoy this. The only thing is the legs. I think, and that's something that can just be
Just
solved
go to a
with getting proper
taxidermist and you're going to
references
collect
and
all
just,
the
you know,
bits to make a
using
giant
stuff to
Discord
inform you
and start
for a
posing
pose
that
next
stuff.
time.
Right?
Of course, that's how it works, right? You just 3D print your poses.
If you're doing wackadaisy stuff, sometimes it is nice to grab very close references. And I gotta hand it to Gmod. They have all these models in them, and you can do these wackadaisy poses with the power of Gmod. Gary's mod, in case you're wondering what that is. You just go to the store, you buy it on the Black Friday sale or whatever sale. It'll be like $1. And you go to their market. The models are all free. You just make sure they're added to your game. It's so easy. I've used it a few times. All right. We have no more submissions. So we'll throw this out there. If anyone has any art they would like to throw at us, please do it now. Or if not, we're going to move to our next segment. Whoop.
The party!
Woo!
And yes, that will feature the requests for those that have just sat here for the requests.
Celebration party.
We're actually going to... Wow, that's a lot of people. Let's see, how many people of this list have I actually seen talking? River Vixen, Rinzar, Moonbus, Lion Song, Jenny Crossover Paints. Ooh, that's a cool name. Curly Silly Pony. Wow, that's... I am, of the people who weren't talking.
You're just giving all the shout outs.
And apparently 2 band people. What? How does that work? Oh no, it just shows you who's in the band list. Okay.
Yeah,
We already tried to
No, the
get
band
musicians
list
to
is,
make
our
theme songs
band.
for
They're gonna
us.
play for
Never
us.
happened.
Yep.
All right.
And I'm just poking fun at you guys. I know
but
you guys
bottom line
came to
is
see
that
the
you
stream.
need
I'm
to
just poking
lower the
fun.
transparency and change your colors. Sort of. Yeah, that would be the too long didn't read and only got half of it. Yeah. I highly suggest watching the video that will be uploaded
only
on
the
YouTube.
background for the transparency.
As soon as we're done this, I will upload it. I'll start that upload going, and I'll get the next thing going. That'll be good. So it looks like we have no more critique to do. So we're gonna get set up for the next thing.
Oh yeah.
Sounds good.